Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to TouchTone Tuesday. I am your host and facilitator, Dr. Sherry Dark-Goudeau. It is my pleasure to bring to you every Tuesday, as the Lord allows, the Word alive. And oh my goodness, we have had an amazing year in 2021. The Spirit of the Lord has spoken like never before, and we are so excited to be back in this new year. Yes, a new year, a new you. And even if we need the old you, hopefully it's tried and true. And we're still going forward in 2022. Yes, go ahead and hit somebody, tell them they want to join us. Listen, we've been talking about so many things. But before we get started, you know how we do it. We go to God in prayer, and we've got something extremely special. You don't want to miss it. Tag someone, please say hello to me in the chat somewhere in here, but you don't want to miss this segment. I can assure you, tag someone. They're going to need what God has in this season from TouchTone Tuesday here at noon. Let's go to God in prayer. Father, we thank you so much for this day, for your amazing presence, for all that you are, all that you do, and for crossing us over into 2022. We bless you. We bless you for Jesus, the amazing sacrifice given in our stead, whereby we get to call you Abba Father. So because of that, a few of your sons, handmaid servants have gathered here together just to give you honor, to give you praise. We ask that the Holy Spirit would rest, rule, preside. We believe, God, that you would allow us to be enlightened, enriched, empowered by this word, this segment. And we believe that in this season and every season beyond, we must decrease so that you must increase. In the blessed name of Jesus, we thank you. Amen. So, we have been talking about salt all year long, and we are still talking about it. We're talking about an amazing salt summit coming your way. You're going to see information across the screen in just a few moments. We've dealt with Matthew 5 and 13, where we talked about the salt of the earth. That is us. And God has been speaking to us about the power of our influence, the power of our impression that we leave in the earth, and more importantly, the power of our impact. It comes through attributes of salt, its essence, its expression, and yes, its evidence in the earth. And with that in mind, we thought about a number of things that we could do. But leading up to the Salt Summit 2022, February 18th and 19th of this year, down in Clear Lake at Hilton Hotel, you want to go to Eventbrite and sign up for that. But I thought, what a better way to express this than our guest on today. We're still going to have devotionals and all of those things with you, but you got to meet someone who walks in the power and the essence of this salt on today. So I couldn't think of anyone better than to bring to you a great friend, my sister. I tell you, ride or die with us always. But we want to talk about in this segment, triumph in tragedy. Triumph in tragedy. Yes, that word. But we're about to bring her up in just a few minutes. And I tell you, this is my amazing sister. She's a counselor. She's just an amazing mother, grandmother, friend to anybody that knows her. But her story is like none other. And in this season, we need to hear not only a sermon, but we need to see one. And today, I have none other than my sister, Minister Yolanda Punch. So she's about to join us. You guys bless her. And I see you over here, my cousin Pam, as well as my cousin Gail Taylor. Thank you so much for joining. Those of you on Facebook about to hit that platform. Can you hear us? She's coming in here. So bear with us for just a second. I see you. I got you, sister. How are you? Can you hear
I'm
us?
good. How are you? I
Okay, we
can't
can't
hear
hear
you.
you.
Can you hear me?
What we've got going on for just a moment. Gotta put in, yeah, I think we're there. Okay, we're doing some things. May hit your mic
Can you
just a
hear
little
me?
bit. You can
Can
hear
you
us?
hear me?
Okay,
I
I
can
can't
hear you
hear you.
just fine. Can you hear me? Okay. I
All
don't know
right,
what's going on here.
try it one more time.
Let's
You guys
see.
bear with us for just a moment. We're learning all of
Still
this
nothing.
amazing technology as we go forth here.
Ah, can you hear me?
Okay, we're still trying to get her up, but in the meantime, we've got some wonderful things for you. We're about to show you some things coming up in just a moment. And you'll see our SALT Summit there. You can go to Eventbrite and register with us as our sister
Oh,
gets ready
wow.
to come up.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Hopefully, we can hear her. Okay. It says
All
that they
right.
can
Still
hear you,
nothing?
but I can't hear you, which is interesting. So let me try this one more time and bring it back out. Unmute it. Okay. And let's see what we've got. Okay. Now let's go. Go ahead and talk. Can you hear me? Say something. Okay. They can hear you well, I think. Okay. We're still having some issues. And you all are able to hear me. Is that correct?
So everyone can hear me?
Okay. Let's see what we can do. Okay. Yes, they can hear you, is what they're saying. Unfortunately, I can't hear you. So I'm not sure what's happening. We've
That's no
adjusted your
problem.
mic. What we're going to do is remove you, and then we're going to come back and add a link, okay? And let's see if we can do it that way. And you guys bear with us. We're doing all of this wonderful technology one more time. I do apologize. And we'll try it one more time. Okay, and we're still here, guys. She's coming back to see if this can go. Okay, they can hear both of us, but unfortunately, I can't hear you. Let me see if I've got my sound where I need it. Okay, now you can hear me. I can hear you.
Oh,
I can hear
I
something
can hear
now.
you
Go ahead.
just fine. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Okay,
You
we
can hear
got you. I
me.
love it. Yes, I can hear you. Love
Great.
it when the plan comes together. Thank you guys so much for bearing with us here. We're learning all this stuff here. But hey, sis, how are you doing?
I'm
You
good.
good?
I'm good. Ripping and running, but I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Well, you guys, as you heard the intro, this is my sister, Minister Yolanda Punch. We've been talking about Salt Summit, and here is a picture of Salt. And I just thank you so much for joining us on TouchTone Tuesday, for bearing with us. You guys are going to hear more of these types of stories, but I got to get started here. I mean, you obviously don't look like what you've been through, and I know your stories, but for the time that we have here, please share. We want you to share with someone and encourage someone along the way. And so we're just going to start with just a little bit because we're talking about triumph
Okay.
in tragedy. And she has been through some things that only a few people know. And yet to see her today is just amazing. So tell us a little bit about the story. I know the story, but you received a phone call several months ago when we're in the height of the pandemic, and it's got to be a parent's worst nightmare. Tell us about that moment when you got that phone call.
Well, to just give you a little bit of backstory of the phone call, my son had came down that in the wee hours of the morning, maybe midnight. He was coming to check on his nephew, just a visit, and he said, "Mom, make sure that I'm up at 7 a.m. I have training and I have some meetings in the morning, so I need to be up and I need to be on time." So I went ahead and set my alarm. I was happy to see him. He had been working, and it's been a few weeks, so I couldn't spend a lot of time with him because I had just gotten off work. And he, when I got up, the alarm went off. I got up and I went in the other room to wake him up to find that he folded up everything, like the room was uh pre-prepared, like he was gone. And I looked
Mhm.
outside, it was heavy fog and no car in the driveway. So I was like, dang, he
Mhm.
left. And normally
Mhm.
he wouldn't leave without giving me a kiss or something. If he did, I didn't feel it. So I immediately called him just to mess with him about, hey, where's my missed kiss, And the phone rang, but it went to voicemail. And I was like, okay, who could he be on the phone with this time of morning? Like, he just left.
Mhm. Mhm.
And knowing him, he's always up at different hours because he know people all over the world. So he's communicating over in China and Europe. And I called again, and the phone just rang and rang and rang and rang. And I was like, this is weird. He could have just left the house. I know he hadn't been gone a long time.
Mhm.
And then I called again, and the phone started going straight to voicemail after several attempts. And I was like, okay. And as a parent, you just know, well, nothing's going on, but I won't be settled until I actually hear his voice, until I know he's, on his way, he's
Mhm.
on time
Yeah.
to get to all of his appointments. Um, so I'm preparing, got coffee ready because I was attending College of Biblical Studies. So I was preparing for my virtual class, for my counseling class. And my mom called and she said, are you leaving the house anytime soon? And I was like, no, I have class and different things. And she was
Mhm.
like, okay, because it was a bad wreck up here. And if you're leaving, it's going to be a while before they clean it up. Like, it's
Mhm.
horrible. It's just, you
Yeah.
know, whoever that person was that was driving that car, they got to be out of here. I mean, she just counted them out. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, man. Immediately, we just, said a quick prayer for the family, right? And it was right in front of her door. And I kept calling Isaiah, and I was like, okay, he going to voicemail. I know he charged the phone. And so my spirit quickened me and told me, just ride up the road, see if maybe his phone is dead and
Mhm.
he could have had a stalled vehicle or something. So I drove up my road 8 miles and didn't see any car. But when I got to the top of the road, I did see the accident, and I turned around. I was like, I'm not getting in that traffic. Let me just go back to the house and prepare for virtual class.
Mhm.
Well, I came, set up, and just like I am now, live in the class, sitting here, and in this place, and in this office. And I looked down at the phone, and I was like, who could be calling me from Kingwood? Like, this
Mm.
unidentified number. And my spirit was like, you take this call. And
Right.
when I picked the call up, I thought I pressed the mute button for class. And the question was, is this Yolanda Punch? And I said, yes, this is Yolanda. And he said, well, do you know Isaiah Thomas? And I was like,
Mhm.
yes, I'm his mother.
Mhm.
And he went on to say, I'm the nurse from Kingwood Hospital. Your son was involved in a major car accident, and we need to perform emergency surgery on him.
Yeah.
So, of course, um, I the feeling was so horrific. The only thing I could think of was to tell them, do whatever you can to save my son. I'm on the way.
Right.
And is at that moment, he said, well, we need you to sign paperwork, and all of that other stuff that they were telling me went out the window. Like, I'm on the
Right.
way. Tell me all of that when I get there. I did
Yeah.
hear him say that they're going to, a doctor was going to call me to get a verbal consent to perform the surgery, and I
Mhm.
should look forward to that call. So, of course, I stuck with my phone, um, and I just started screaming, and um, I ran out the room, out this office, and I went to see what I was gonna put on, but I just dropped to the floor. I just, all of my strength
Mhm.
had left me, And I
Absolutely.
just, I mean, I I literally I got on the floor, and it wasn't pray or anything like that. It was release. It was like,
Yeah.
let it out. Get it all
Yeah.
out right now. Just get it out.
Yeah.
And so I did, and I gathered myself, and I said, okay, what's the next step? So
Wow.
um, that's what
So
I did.
you,
I made a phone call, and I
yeah.
called my dad, and I told
Mhm.
him, um, I need you like never before.
Mhm.
And my mom, she was under COVID quarantine,
Wow.
so she saw the accident, but she didn't know who it was.
Wow.
And
Isn't that?
when I told my dad, I said, "Don't tell mom until I get there," you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And when she saw me, I thought I had myself together,
Mhm.
just sturdy and tough, like they taught me to be. And she looked at me and she said, "That was my boy, wasn't it?" And I
Yeah.
said, "Yes, mama. We're
Yes.
on the way. Dad is going to drive me."
Yes.
And that was
Wow.
that phone call.
Wow. So you get to the hospital now. You know it's a very serious accident. You know there's emergency surgery coming, but obviously you don't know the prognosis, of course, that we know now. So you get to to the hospital with your dad. You go in, and they're gonna let you see him, but they give you a prognosis at the very beginning. In fact, it sounds like they just really cut to the chase. So tell us about that prognosis that they gave you regarding Isaiah and your response thereafter.
Well, the phone call came, the doctor called actually when we were en route
Hmm.
to the hospital.
Yeah.
So the doctor, my dad was driving, um, and it's so emotional just talking
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But when the doctor called, he said over the radio, "This is Doctor So and so." I'm gonna just say Doctor E, um,
Hmm.
and I will be the physician performing the spinal cord. I'm the spinal cord doctor, and I'll be performing the surgery on your son.
Hmm.
I need your verbal consent
Hmm.
to do this surgery.
Yeah.
If he wasn't married, and the
Hmm.
only reason I'll be doing the surgery is to make him comfortable so that he'll be able to transfer properly from the bed to the wheelchair.
Hmm.
And I was like, wait, what?
Hmm.
And he said, because the only reason I stopped, like, what you mean the only reason? Like,
Yeah.
it's surgery, something needs to be done. And he said the injury that your son had was so severe, the impact was so severe of multiple cars hitting him, his body was twisted and it snapped his spine.
Wow.
Although they would know when they get inside to see if the spinal cord was intact.
Hmm.
They will put a bracket. So he gave me this information over the phone, what they were
Hmm.
going to do in the surgery. But the end of that was, but your son will never walk again.
Yeah.
And the look on my dad's face as he's controlling the vehicle, and when the doctor said that my son would never walk again, my dad just said,
Wow. So
and
this was on speakerphone,
I was,
obviously, and he's hearing this right along with you. And what our audience, needs to hear today is that Isaiah is a professional basketball player, as you stated earlier, traveled all over the world. He's home on a break because of the pandemic. and this accident
Right.
occurs. So we're not talking about someone that's just somewhat of a sedentary life or just going about in a normal job per se. This is a
Right.
professional athlete, well trained, and we have this accident
Yes.
and this information. He's never going to walk again, which means
Mm-hmm.
career done. Yeah, that
Right.
part.
Right.
That.
So with that being said, and we both receiving it at the same time, receiving the information.
Mm-hmm.
It was rejected immediately in my spirit, but I heard what he said
Mm-hmm.
and gave him the authorization to perform the surgery. And when the call was disconnected,
Mm-hmm.
I immediately went into, God, I know you, and
Yeah.
you know me.
Yeah.
We're more than just friends.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
have an intimate relationship. I have a prayer life. I pay my tithes. I am a servant of yours. I live my life the best I
Mm-hmm.
can. Like, what's
Yeah.
going on here? I'm
Yeah.
not questioning him in why did this happen. I didn't question him with that. As a matter of fact, my dad, when we were approaching Kingwood exit, my dad asked me, I thought it was pretty ridiculous. He was like, "What exit is the hospital? We going to
Mm-hmm.
Kingwood Hospital. Like, you know what the exit is."
Yeah.
And he says, "Okay." And I think he was just trying to get a response out of me because the
Right.
whole while I was going, it was never a break. I was talking to God out loud. I
Mm-hmm.
know that you are there with him.
Mm.
Whatever they say is whatever they see and say. I need you to be the doctor because I know you as a healer. I've seen you
Yeah.
do it at this hospital. My daddy had 2 strokes back to back, and you've healed him.
Mm.
Do it again, God. That's
Do it
all I can
again.
say. Do it again, God.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so when he asked me about the exit,
Mm-hmm.
I told him what the exit was, but I was like, and he said, "Okay, well, we almost here.
Yeah.
Gather yourself,
Right.
pull
So
yourself
you
together."
so you come from this part with your dad and you're able to get
Yes.
in despite COVID, all of those things, and you see your son for the first time as mother. What is your word of hope? I had the privilege and also somewhat of the discomfort of being there, but your mother, your mama, this is different. This is not coming to help one of your patients as you have are known to be counselor and encourager and all of those things that we know you to be. But this is mama. This is your boy, your son. You watched him grow up, live out his dreams, and then a sudden stop. What does mama say to her son? And you've just received information that you're never going to walk again. This is out of the mouth of the doctors now. What's the word of
Right.
hope that you give your son?
The first word that was given to me was from my dad. He
Mm,
said, "Go in there and do what you've always done.
mm,
You go in there and you be who you've always been to
mm.
us in this situation."
Yeah.
So it kind of took that role of poor me, I'm the mom,
Yeah.
into getting here and listen to what these doctors have to say
Mm,
so that you can understand how you need to go to God. And
yeah.
of course, with my mentor by my side, we went in and I looked at my son, and he when he recognized me, he said, "Mama,
Yeah.
the devil tried to kill me."
That's what he
And I
said.
said, "But he didn't. He
Mhm,
tried, but his best was not good enough. You're
mhm,
still here. These people, these doctors are going to take you in and perform surgery on you. And when you come out, we'll be right here.
Wow.
I'll be right here. When you come out, I'll be right here.
Mm.
And it broke my heart to stand there and be strong for him, and not just for him but with him, because
Yeah.
for him to identify that he has something inside of him so great
Mhm.
that the
Yeah.
enemy would try to take it from him. And I
Yeah.
still believe to this day that the power belongs to God, and what he has
Yeah.
to do here in the earth
Yes.
is so great. He made
Yeah.
a comment a couple of months
That's
ago
good.
that he was joking and he was kind of struggling a little bit within. But what he said, I will always remember. He
Yeah.
said, Mom, I've trained myself. I got up before others. I worked out by myself. I worked out with
Mhm.
other people. I
Mhm.
played ball with a number of professional players. He
Yeah.
said, the universe couldn't handle me on my
Oh,
feet.
come on. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. That's good. Is that, despite all of the challenges, is that the triumph for you coming out of this tragedy? That statement.
That's one of them. That's one of them.
Tell us one
To
more.
know that his mind is being secure.
Yeah.
Okay, to know that um, he's working through
Yeah.
the process. He's
Hmm.
embracing
Yeah.
the process. He's trusting the process. We do have our struggles. We do have our many battles, but
Hmm.
he's trusting the process, and to see him overcome,
Wow.
that's triumph for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that. Wow, wow. And I know you guys can hit us up with questions or anything that you have for Minister Yo. We call her Minister Yo, but anything you may have that you want to ask, put it in the chat and we'll go from here for you. But I'm getting comments, trust the process. I'm getting comments, speak woman of God. I'm seeing you encourage people. But I've seen you go a step beyond, sharing with us the triumph that came in tragedy. But you have an amazing platform that was carved. You had it in you, but we saw the essence of that come out as you went through this tragedy, as you went through these challenges with your son, as you're watching him make that statement or hearing him make that statement. The universe couldn't handle me on my feet. And oh my God, could he have ever made a statement? But you have an amazing platform for a voice of wellness that's needed in this particular time period like never before. Tell us a little bit about that platform.
On Monday nights at 7 p.m., I do a clubhouse, the Clubhouse app, and it's called Yosifa's Corner.
Yeah,
And the name Yosifa means God will increase.
yeah,
Um, the corner is just is a safe place to release your toxicity, a place where you can come and turn your negative into a positive, where you can come and release with no judgment. It's a no judgment zone. And it was birthed because I kept feeling the unction to do something, say something, get it off your chest. Don't hold yourself hostage in this situation. In order for me to help him, I would have to help myself. And um, not just myself, but to cleanse from
mhm,
all of the negative thoughts that were going on in my mind, and to keep my mental state. I heard Pastor Keon teach a message a couple of years ago that stuck with me, and that's what brought me through. Is
mm,
my mental estate is my most valuable real estate, and in
mhm,
order for me to progress, in order for me to continue on, in order for me to battle and fight the way I do, I have to maintain my mental estate. And hope has another name. You asked me earlier about hope, but my mother
Mhm. Yeah.
is everything. She
Yeah.
has been there to pray me through. She's been there to push me through, emotionally, spiritually, and physically at times, having to tell me just to hold on. You got this, you know.
Yeah.
And even though it looks bad at times, come on, girl, you got it. Keep going. And that's what we do. We pick each other up and we keep going. That's my ride or die. And I wouldn't be right here sitting as sane as possible if it wasn't for her pushing me and pulling me and for my team. You know, my tribe came through to assist in every way possible. So I just thank God.
Wow.
Honestly, I thank God.
Wow. Wow. Well, we thank God for you. I can't tell you what a light you are, what an inspiration you are as a woman, first of all, and certainly as a mom. I mean, this is mom of mom, you guys. I'm just telling you. I watched the process with her from beginning to now and the challenges they have gone through together and overcome, and to hear the words of triumph come out, and especially in the midst of tragedy. It's just really inspiring to me. So I thought, what a great way. We talk about being the salt of the earth and getting the influence and the impact into the earth, especially in whatever time God is giving us. Some say these are the last days, and maybe they are, but nevertheless, many things have to happen, and this is one of them, to see how we deal with
Yeah.
tragedy and how we overcome it in the midst of. And that's where the salt of the earth does some of its finest work. And I've seen that in you and Isaiah. What we didn't disclose is that Isaiah has developed his own clothing line. We'll let him tell his story a little bit later. But if anybody should have been stopped, could have been stopped, it should have been
Yeah.
him. But off his feet, he still developed a clothing line, which is doing
Yeah.
extremely well. Yeah, watch it pay off. Whippo. And so you guys go to his site and get some of these. We purchased them already, and we love it. We see the hat that his mom is repping for him, and she's got their back in their business projects, both of her children, as well as looking out for her grandkids as well. But this is what Salt of the Earth is about making an impact. And she has made an impact not only in her son's life, but also developing a platform to make sure that your mental estate, your mental wellness, no matter what you're going through, is established and stable, because that's what's going to get you through. If you don't have that, everything else is lost. As we're closing out a little bit, and I don't know if anybody has a question or something they want to ask her. As I said, please put it in the chat. But for us, what would be the closing comment as we bring this to a close?
I would have to say to keep your mind together, not to
Mm,
look at the situation, not look at your circumstances, but to take everything. We're in the midst of this pandemic. We went to church Sundays, Wednesdays, other functions. Someday on Sundays, we went all day, and the church is closed down. And if we don't have, if I didn't have, I'll say, if I didn't have the tools, if I wasn't prepared for battle, if I didn't have on the full armor of God in order
mhm,
to fight all of these temptations and trials and tribulations, I would not have made it. I would
right.
not have made it if I wouldn't have stayed in my word. Was it hard to get in my word? Yes, it was hard. I was never angry at God. I know that some have been, but one thing I know, and I held on to that, is God will never leave me nor
Mm,
forsake me.
wow.
And that alone gave me strength. When I felt like I couldn't go on, God, I know you're with me. And he just I just found the strength to just go ahead on a little while longer. And when I felt the tears rolling, I go ahead on and either get in the shower or just go to a quiet place, my prayer closet, and I would just release it. I would be okay not being okay and asking for help. I would call and lean on my mentors and say, I'm not good today. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to talk. I'm angry
Mhm.
today.
Yeah.
It's okay to be angry.
Mhm.
It's okay not to be okay. But it's when you separate yourself, when
Mhm.
you isolate yourself, that's when the danger happens. When you
Mhm.
try to say, oh, I can do it by myself and I don't want to tell anyone I can do this. Yes, you can do it, but you have to have some soldiers, some
Yeah.
warriors that is praying you through. Even though you walk in this journey by yourself physically in the house with this situation, you have to have someone or a tribe that is praying you through, that think when they think of you, they say a prayer for you and your house, because it's not easy. I cannot sugarcoat that. It's not an easy task.
Yeah.
As a friend said this morning, it's one of those that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
I thank God, as it may sound cliche, I thank him for the opportunity of choosing me for this
Mm.
battle, because
Wow.
I have grown into the person he's called me to be. And I'm strong enough to know. People used to tell me all the time, you so strong, you so strong. Okay, well, I, I don't feel always strong. I don't always feel strong.
Mm.
But when I look back at where he's brought me from, there was something there that was working all the time. And God has given me the strength to make it and to keep my house stable, to stay afloat. So don't isolate yourself. Come out and ask for help. Even, don't worry about if someone is going, be transparent. If someone tells, find you somebody in the church, get
Yeah.
somebody, have a person. You have to get someone that you can release to here
Mm.
on earth physically. I know you say, I tell God all about my trouble. I get it. But
Yeah.
sometimes you need somebody that's going to
Ah,
cry at night with you.
so
You're going to need
true.
somebody on the other side of
So
the other
true.
line that can just listen to you as you wail.
Mhm.
It's going to be somebody that you need to pick up that phone or just look at them. You don't have to say nothing. Come sit
Mm.
down and watch a
Yeah.
movie. You
Yeah.
don't have to say a word.
Mhm.
Being there is more important than anything. So
Yeah.
come out of that dark room, come out of
Yeah.
depression, come out.
Yeah.
If you
Go
feel
ahead and
it
speak.
gets
Go ahead.
heavy, it gets
Yeah.
heavy where you feel like you want to be suicidal, but
Oh,
come
you're
out of
helping it.
there, come out,
Mhm.
get up, turn
You're
the
helping
light on, and
it.
come on out.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
make it. You can make it. It's okay. Before this situation happened, before the pandemic, we still had mental health issues. We still had unestablished mental health diagnosis.
Um,
And
oh my God.
it's an underlying condition that
Mm.
people, and especially in our community, that don't want to talk about. Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
just the way that person is. That's not an excuse, and it's not all right. Oh,
Right.
they said something that was out of line. That's just who they are. No, it's not who they are. It's
Wow.
toxic. And we
Yeah.
need to fix that. It's not
Yeah.
okay. We need to pray for them and forgive them, because
Yeah.
you holding yourself hostage when you don't forgive.
Wow.
If you do not forgive, you're holding yourself hostage and you're holding up your blessings.
Mhm.
So come out of that. Come out of
Yeah.
depression. Is it hard? Yes, it's hard. I was depressed and didn't even know it. I was
Yeah.
walking a walking zombie.
Wow.
I had no idea. I would even say it. I would say, I think I'm depressed. I'm not sure. Like,
Mm.
why do I feel like this? Because I didn't know what it was. I can't help you if I hadn't walked it.
Right.
I cannot give you encouragement about depression if I had not walked the
Mm.
lane of depression.
Yeah.
Have suicide entered my home? It may not have entered my mind, but it has entered my home. And I had to go
Mm.
and rebuke that thing and keep speaking to it because it
Mm.
does not live here. This is God's house. And
Yeah.
everybody in here belongs to him.
Yes.
You cannot have nobody here, and you
Mm-hmm.
can't have a mind, because I'm gonna
Right.
speak over that as well.
Yeah.
So it's okay not to be okay. And
Mm.
it's very well when you can say, I need me. I need
Mm.
me. I need me.
Mm.
Pull yourself
Come
together.
on.
I need
Come
me.
on with
I
that
do.
one.
I
Come
need
on.
me.
Yeah.
If I am not good,
Mm.
if I'm not together, if I'm not centered
Yes.
with God, there's no way
Yeah.
I can extend myself to help anybody. I can't help you, and
Mm.
I'm not right.
So true. Wow.
I need me. I need my rest. Do you know
Yes.
how important rest is? I wasn't
Yeah.
getting a lot of rest. I was working a full-time job. I was coming home, taking care of myself, coming in at 6 in the morning, working a 12, 13-hour shift. And then I come here and work another shift and have to
Yeah.
take a nap and go back to work.
Yes.
And my mom was spending the night helping me out.
Mm.
You have a tribe, you have somebody. And
Mm.
if you don't, ask God to send you somebody.
Yes.
And if you think you're strong enough for the task, ask God to allow
Mm.
you to be the answer.
Yeah.
Be the answer to someone else's prayer.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. 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 Now, if that doesn't encourage somebody today about the power you have that God has given you to go through whatever situation you find yourself in, I don't know what else to tell you. She said some things that just grabbed me. She was chosen for this. Anybody can say you've been chosen for a tragedy because you've been called to triumph in the tragedy. You weren't just chosen for it,
Yeah.
but you were called to triumph in it. That's what I heard from her. And then to come out from those dark places, those isolated places. We don't have to go through these things alone. God gives us somebody somewhere at some time for something. And so she's told us that. She's told us that. And then you hear the encouragement that God gives you something as you come out of it. Why does he do it? Why does he
Yeah.
do it? Because you are set up to encourage somebody else that's going through, and you can't tell
Right.
them about anything you haven't necessarily walked. And so she walked this thing. And my God, has she walked it triumphantly and still is, still climbing, still going higher, still watching her son come out, come up, despite what has happened.
Yes.
That to me is what God is telling us to do in the earth at this time for the impact and the essence of who he is to come through in every situation. Because what we have said from the beginning of this SALT summit, this beginning of this SALT word that he has given us, you may not be able to get a horse to drink once you lead him to water, but you give him enough salt, he'll find water all by himself.
Yes.
That is what God has
That's
given
right.
us, the church, that's like none other, the believer. I won't even say the church, just the believer, that we are
Yes.
that salt that somebody wants to come to us and say, girl, how'd you make it? Buddy, how did you make it? How did you get through this? And when you begin to share that
Mhm.
essence, that expression, and certainly in her case, she's got evidence, she's got receipts that God does
Yes.
what he does.
Yes.
Nobody can tell her she can't. She's got the receipts to prove it. God brought them into a triumphant situation, and the best is yet to come. Wherever you are, just put some hands up in that chat box. It may be some clapping, it may be some hands like this, but do something to let us know you heard this, you received this, it blessed you, it's helping you go forward. You use it to encourage someone else. We're going to be doing more of this. As this time goes forward, you'll see us back here as the Lord allows one more time, TouchTone Tuesdays. But this Thursday, we're having a segment that branches off of this because of what my sister, Minister Yo, did today. You guys bless Minister Yolanda today for us, wherever you are. But there is another segment. I see you there, Sister Barama. Good. Thank y'all for doing this. I'm telling her who's here. Sister Linda Williams. That's our essential work over there. My great sister. Yes, from Antioch. Sister Barama Smith. That's Minister Barama. God bless you. And then, of course, my cousin, Sister Gail Taylor, Sister Keisha, 1 in a Million Jackson. Yes, that beautiful sister of our Minister Edwards there. Saw Valenita, my sweetie, your brother. And you got know he's so proud of you. That's my hubby. So he's so proud of you. So you guys look, these are the stories. These are we could preach a sermon all day long and we'll bless you. But when you see a sermon, that's a whole nother show. So it's our job to not only allow you to hear a sermon, a devotional in God, but also to see a devotional, to see a sermon in action. That is Minister Yolanda Punch on today. And I can't tell you, sister, how much I bless you for joining me today in our first segment. Oh my goodness, we're going to have these on Thursdays. They're entitled, as God has given it to me, Tell Your Story. Tell your story. You're going to need to go to my YouTube page for this, though. You're going to need to subscribe. You'll see a link come up in Facebook, but you're not going to need to subscribe to hear this one. And the first one is a wonderful guest, but my goodness, I could not have assigned a better one than is coming on the forefront this Thursday. Be joining us Thursday evening at 7 p.m. And that is my husband. Yes, Marvin Gerard Goodall. And so, yes, I know you guys are going to want to join us. God is doing some amazing things. One more time, put your hands together for my sister. I can't say thank you enough. You see the SALT Summit coming up February 18th and 19th, 2022. We'll have all of the info out, but Minister Yolanda will be a part of that SALT Summit coming up. And if you want to know more about overcoming, more about what your salt can do in your package, more about how you can impact, more about how you can influence, more about how you can leave an impression in the earth for God's glory, you want to be at this SALT Summit. Don't let anything hold you back. You got to come by yourself. You come. We're going to have some things coming up. Please share this, and we're going to have some more of those wonderful promos coming out that's going to get you there in style. But you hang on for those. You'll have some information on my page. So check out our YouTube page with Heart of a Woman International. That's who will be sponsoring this for us. Check out my page, Dr. Sherry Dark-Goudeau. You want to check that out as well. But go to my YouTube page and sign up. You want to get this and follow my sister, Minister Yolanda Punch, at Josephus Corner Clubhouse every Monday at 7 o'clock p.m. It's some deep discussions, guys, and so impactful for your mental real estate at this hour. Thank you guys for joining us and being a little patient with us with all of this. We'll see you next Tuesday with a word as the Lord allows here at 12 noon, TouchTone Tuesday, and this Thursday, Tell Your Story with my sweetie, Marvin Gerard Goodall, 7 o'clock p.m. Go to my YouTube page and subscribe now. Tell some friends. And we're going to be getting some of your stories out as well. So when I hit you guys up, just know it's time to tell it. We love you guys to life. Thank y'all so much for joining us. And sister, God bless you. God bless you. Thank you guys. We love y'all to life. Have a good one. Enjoy your Tuesday. We'll see you next week. All righty. Bye-bye.